Okay. Action.
I love deep fried food, but I hate to fry it myself. It's a pain, it's a mess, and then I have to clean it up. So some of my favorite foods I've learned how to shortcut. And I would claim it's because it makes it healthier, but that's not why I do it. That's a good benefit. Well, one of those dishes is chicken parmesan. I love chicken parmesan. I make really good marinara, but I hate the process. And half the time you end up with kind of a greasy, tasteless chicken, or it's flabby. Not this way. I've got a great shortcut. So all we're going to do is start out with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in the bottom of a baking dish. And to that, a couple of cloves of chopped garlic. I think that might have been 3. Chances are with me, and it's garlic, there's going to be a little more than less. And some crushed red pepper flake. Okay? And we're going to simply spread that out in the bottom of our bacon dish. Now when I wrote this recipe, the first few times I did it, I used 6 pieces of chicken, but look at these mutant chicken breasts. They're huge. They're giant. So we don't need 6. That is about a serving. So I would say these 4 chicken breasts will serve 8 easily. So these guys are going to come right down in here. I love how quick this is. Yep, we're going to squish to get them in here. I should have a bigger baking dish, but it's still got stuffed peppers in it from a minute ago. Okay, get rid of this. And, wait, I have chicken hands. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. A little bit of kosher salt. And one of the things you got to be careful with here is don't go too much with the salt, because you've got some really highly flavored ingredients that are going in here with it. Okay, you've got Parmesan, you've got marinara, a little red wine, garlic, red pepper, so you don't need a whole lot of salt. You need a little bit. I've got a teenager I'm mad at, and I hope he gets that bite right there. Okay, so here's where we're gonna get our tricks. 2 cups of marinara, and it really does make a difference if you have homemade. I mean, you can use bottled if you want to, but I would really rather skip it and wait. That was just half a cup of a dry red wine. We're going to stir that together, and hang on just a second. You know what? Don't move. Ha! I forgot my basil. Okay, so this is going right over the top. See, if I had a bigger casserole dish, you could actually get more in there, but that's okay. This is good. That is my brother's boxer puppy, Ellie Mae, who I didn't intend to puppy sit for. I really didn't. She's a cute puppy. She's cuter at his house. All right, so Parmesan cheese, about half a cup. This is going to go right over the top of the sauce. The cool thing about this way is you don't have to mess with topping each individual portion and then running it under the broiler. You do just a little bit. And I will say, pardon me, I will say it's much, much lower in fat, which just was a happy accident. I gotta say, I can't take credit for that. All right, about a 5-ounce package of garlic croutons. And if you have leftover bread and you want to make your own croutons, you know, go right ahead. They do taste better, I will say. I just didn't happen to have any leftover bread, because my 2-year-old has discovered that we can take the stale bread down to the park and feed the ducks, so that's his favorite thing. So I've been feeding the ducks at Hardin Park with Joey and buying the croutons. It's worth it. Okay, so one last time over the top with a little more cheese. See, instead of the breading from deep frying, we've got the crunch from the croutons, and it's a great replacement. Got that kick of garlic, that rich marinara, a little bite of red wine, that little mellow, nutty Parmesan thing that happens. Okay, almost done. Now this is my cool trick. Look, I have extra Parmesan. My cool trick. I've discovered you can buy a live plant. If you want fresh herbs, you can buy the live one for the same price as the little packet. And the live one has more on it than the packet has in it. And even if you kill it after a few weeks, you still end up with 3 or 4 times the amount of the herb. That's my new favorite thing. I've actually managed to keep this one alive for a while. Oh look, see, I'm in the process of killing it now. I've kept this one alive for, wow, it's a record. Maybe a month. Okay, so fresh basil. And you can use dried if you have to, but it's one of those things that, you know, it's worth finding the fresh basil. And a lot of times, you know me, I'll substitute anything, but not this. Okay, right over the top. So I've got a 350-degree oven, and this is going to go in for right about 45 minutes, okay? And you are going to be surprised. Trust me.
Go.
All right. This is what happens when you run out to the store real quick and you leave your teenager in charge of pulling your chicken out of the oven. You get a little too dark, but it's still good. He's not that bad. I have to be nice to him. He's running my camera. All right, I gave this extra time because, 2 reasons. Those chicken breasts were so big, I knew they were going to take longer to cook all the way through. Secondly, because I had them so close together, there was no room for the heat to circulate in between, so we had to make sure that those got done all the way in. Would you like some help? Excuse me for a moment. Thank you. All right, so this is what we're looking for.
What were we having for supper?
Chicken. Yay. All right, back in the library. Run back in the library. Run back in the library. See, we're real. This is our house. Back on track. Oh, now, if you don't throw your meat thermometer in the dishwasher, thereby rendering it forever useless, you can check the interior of each of your pieces of chicken and make sure you've hit 160 to 65 degrees, right? But in case you have not done that, this is what we want. Let's see if we can come through here. And just like any other protein, we're going to have a little carryover cooking, and we want some resting time to redistribute the juices all the way through. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. And the best part is, we have all the wonderful things about chicken parmesan. We have this crispy crust, we have the cheesy goodness, the marinara sauce, the kiss of wine, luscious, juicy chicken. Except my way's easy. Tastes good.